You said that if you get an easy game... Wait, Crushing Tide, what you are stating is pretty much... If you get a good game with Sadako, in your perspective, they must be extremely bad, because you just cannot believe that a Sadako against a good team can do well. So whatever happens in a game and Sadako gets a 4K, you will pretty much classify the Survivor team as bad, because you cannot accept a Survivor team to do worst against Sadako. Is that right? Is that how you see the killer? So now it's pretty much anti-looping. Like, I don't agree with the placement. Please watch how I play Sadako and we get what I mean, if I can get a good game. I don't agree with the placement. For me, she is B. Usually mid B, if you play really well. I will never understand why people say Sadako is so bad. I just don't. Chainer. Strong player, chainer all the time. I think you're dead. Do you have that hard? You don't have that hard. Okay. You say that Sadako is tired in. Why do you say that? Why do you believe Sadako is so bad? Are you guys playing around mind games? Spring burst, of course. That's why you walk. Please have a look when I play the mind games. Pay attention to them. You see this guy is pretty much shifting the loops, like chaining. They are not really playing the loops. You said that if you get an easy game... Wait, Crushing Tide, what you are stating is pretty much... If you get a good game with Sadako, in your perspective, they must be extremely bad, because you just cannot believe that a Sadako against a good team can do well. So whatever happens in a game and Sadako gets a 4K, you will pretty much classify the Survivor team as bad, because you cannot accept a Survivor team to do worst against Sadako. Is that right? Is that how you see the killer? I'm pretty sure that I'm right. That hard. Nice, that's a nice down. You never have balance standing. Nah. And that's a joint. Yosmo, by the way, I did see you in the chat, man. Welcome. You know, if people believe that a killer just cannot do well, whatever happens, and doesn't matter like how many times they are proving a killer can do good, but you're just pretty much biased against them to believe they cannot do good in any way, well, in that case, like, is it even worth trying to prove a killer can do well? Because you just never believe that. Like, everyone should, when you make a tier list, you should not be biased against the killer. That's what I'm trying to say. Well played. You cannot body block me. Up hook. So, if it happens that I 4K this game, you will say that this team was really bad by your statement. And if I happen to lose, let's say, to no chance, you will say in the chat, okay, you just proved that Sadako is a trash killer. But whenever I will 4K in the same time, you will say that I just faced a victim. Right? So, how do you want the killer to be proved to be good if you're pretty much against them? Hello, Nia. You don't have to be biased when you make a tier list, and that's why I like Otzdarva, even though he's saying Sadako is very bad, but he's not biased. Or at least that's what I believe. You know, even in long loops, I really think you can do well, and I think I proved that. But I will play more with her to see, improve my own skill. You know. Can I get this guy? You're not falling for the mind game, which is kind of nuts. I like it. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, you fucked up. Oh, that's why you do heavy mind games until they pretty much get confused. They either don't drop the parrot, they do something wrong, you know? Body blocks. Yeah, base kid. Borrow time, I know that. Not much you can do in open space anyway. You know, after all, a killer will be good if the player behind is good. So let's say that you play a Ghostface, right, against a very strong team. Well, that weak killer that he usually can be, or is, won't be as weak as someone who plays the killer well. Let's say that you main Ghostface for 3 years. Well, that guy won't be as bad as an average Ghostface player at the high MMR. Because after all, the player makes the killer. So even as Sadako, if you are good with Sadako, you may be even better than let's say, Spirit or whatever. It's pretty much your experience on the killer against an average player in the game. That's borrowed time? No. Of the record. Holy moly. If you ever make a tier list, those should be actually made on the players that are dedicated in the game. Let's say that someone plays Spirit for 5 years. Well, you should pretty much only consider his gameplay, because in comparison to someone who plays all the killers or it's an average player, you get more showcase from someone who's extremely good. And that would be actually a very strong tier list. That would be a legit proof tier list all the way. You either watching comp or pub, but you need the experience from those that actually know the killer. And that's when you will understand if the killer is strong or weak.